It's like,
Yeah, so I was I worked at Stanchart as a loan center officer.
oh,
So
okay.
different from what
So not
I
a
was
teller.
doing. No, I wasn't the teller. I was at Garden City at the loan center. It's still there. So like looking at loans and stuff like that. It was interesting, but it was again very monotonous. It was too monotonous for me. It was kind of like the Gayaza experience in some way. So at some point, I just couldn't take it anymore. I resigned.
Okay.
I enrolled for CIM at UMI, so
Okay.
Chartered Institute of Marketing, professional marketing course. So I started doing that, and then I applied to a few other agencies. So I really, okay, so just a little backtrack. While I was in Malaysia, I had come over for a short stint for 4 months to do an internship.
All right.
And I did that at Airtel, Uganda. At
Okay.
that time, it was Celtel, and we're rebranding to Zane. So I remember I was there when they're doing the rebranding. It was really exciting. And I got to work with ZK. That was the agency at that time. Remember ZK?
Yes,
Yeah.
advertising, ZK advertising.
Yes. And I just loved the agency environment. Like, that's when I decided I think I want to work at an agency. Like, I love being around creatives. I've always loved being around creative people. And I just loved that it was really chilled. Like, no one was wearing suits and ties and like brainstorming. I remember being part of like a few brainstorming sessions. And I just loved the idea of like creating campaigns, creating things, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to work at an agency. So that's why when I came back, I worked with Bstrat. And then I think I got a bit discouraged. And then I got the job at Stanchart. And then I was like, no, I'm going to go back to agency. So
Okay.
when I left Stanchart, I did CIM. I did up to level 4, which is like a professional postgrad diploma.
Okay. Okay.
Level 6.
Level
rather. Yeah, I
6.
did level 4, level 6, and level 7 is when you're a chartered marketer. And then I went to work with Moringa Ogilvy. It's now TBWA.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
So I worked there as an account manager, handling a couple of accounts like DFCU, Total. Which other accounts did I do? Those are my key ones. DSTV at some point.
Now
Yeah.
that you were working there, was
Yeah.
it still as chilled as
It's
you thought
not
during your
chilled at
days?
all.
People need to know it's an extremely stressful.
Agency work is an extreme sport.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be dedicated and you have to love what you do.
Yeah.
But it is actually, I feel like
It's rewarding, but it's very,
rewarding.
very,
And I feel like if you start, if your career is in marketing or whatever, and you start at an agency, I think you get a good solid like backbone. Because you're managing clients, you're managing creatives, you're the in-between, you're working with the media guys as well. You have to make sure campaigns run on time, things are done the way they are, getting feedback, writing briefs and things like that. So it was a lot of long hours, I remember, but it was still a creative environment, not chilled but creative. And
Yeah,
I like
and that's
that.
what you were looking
different
for.
personalities, you know, like we had
and every day something new comes up.
something new, exactly. So you have different clients, you know, like one client is a certain way, another one is a different way, different types of campaigns, different things you're working on. So I did enjoy agency life.
Okay,
Yeah.
for how long?
So I was at Moringa for 4 years, and then I left Moringa. I moved to Fireworks Advertising, and I was there for 2 years.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then the traveling was in between. When did you have that push where you're like, okay, I really want to be like.
Yeah.
So you were blogging all along?
No, so at Moringa I wasn't blogging. I'd never thought of starting a blog, but I
Okay.
just remember when I look back, I used to look forward to travel all the time. So like I mentioned, agency work can be very stressful, long hours, and you have those 21 days of leave if you are able to get them. And I remember every time, I'd always plan my leave in advance, and I'd always have like some sort of trip. I'd like put some girlfriends together, and I'm like, let's go here, let's go here. And I remember like getting like frustrated when I couldn't take my leave, because sometimes, you know, it's at the company's convenience.
Yes, yeah.
And so
You have a big campaign.
you have a big
something.
something comes up, and I remember that would like really crush me. Like, I would look forward to that time off. Like, to me I look at travel sometimes like restarting your computer, you know,
yeah.
like you have to just reboot,
Reboot.
you know. And I would like to reboot every day.
I think we all would.
Some people leave their computers running for like a month before they switch it off. They leave their tabs open, they whatever. But yeah, so it's nice to just like shut down the chaos and everything, and then start afresh. So
Yeah.
that's what travel would do for me when I was working full time. And so I just remember always looking forward to trips, always looking forward to trips. And then when I left my job at Moringa and I was starting at Fireworks, I had like a 1 month break in between.
Yes.
Yeah, you know how you give notice and all of that. So I did have like, and I had some leave days that I hadn't yet taken. So I had like a 1 month break in between. And I took a trip with a friend of mine, my best friend, to Diani in Mombasa.
Yeah.
And it was such a good trip. Like, it was just the two of us. And we like really didn't have that much of a plan other than go to the beach and chill on the beach. And we just had so much, like, I felt like we really bonded during that trip. Like, I feel like when people are away, they open up. Like, we really talked about life, our goals, our dreams. We had like random conversations with other people that we met. Like, it was such a fun trip. And that's actually when I decided I wanted to write about travel.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So that's
because of what it gave you.
What it gave me. Like, I just had this whole appreciation for the time that I'd had off from work and everything. So when I came back from that trip, I didn't really know what blogging was, like, to be honest, but I just felt like I want to like document this somehow. And it was really just for my own personal, I wanted to have
like hold on to your memories?
Hold on to my memories. Like, have some sort of journal that I can look back on and it will still be there and I can remember exactly how I felt. Like, I wanted to hold on to everything I'd experienced in that trip. And so I remember I got back, started work immediately, and I remember just like going online, like, how to start a blog, you know?
I got for Google.
I got for Google. And that's how Huchenda was born, really. Okay. So it was just, for me, I remember actually the first domain that I had gotten, that I had wanted to get was outofoffice.com.
Yeah.
Because to me, travel was always a thing that you do, like
running away,
like when you've left work, like to take a break and rejuvenate and reboot, like I said. But then I remember there were so many out of office, like there were so many other websites, the domain was taken, and there were so many other like similar websites. And so I was thinking, oh man, what name? And then I was like, wait, why don't I just call it travel in my language? And that's how I decided to go with Huchenda. And so I started the blog. The very first pictures I posted and stuff I wrote about was about Diani.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was back in October 2016. Yeah, so I started it as just a personal thing, documenting my own out-of-office escapades, and it really wasn't intended for anyone else to see.
How did we get to where we are now?
Yeah, so... But
just like a few friends.
Yeah, just like a few friends. Like, it wasn't really supposed to be anything major. It was just like my own part-time escape, so to speak. So, but then the thing is, once I started, travel can be very addictive. So now, because I started the blog, I felt like, okay, so I need something new to write about. I need to travel. So I was always looking forward to trips, like researching places where I can go on a budget for the weekend. Because remember, I'm employed full-time. Yeah, so I'm thinking of places I can go for the weekend on a public holiday, and I can go and like take pictures and write about the place. And so that's how it started. But the more I did it, the more I wanted to do it, the more I wanted to do more with it. And until it got to a point where I felt like this is something I'm really excited about, I'm really passionate about, I can't ignore it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That must have been scary though.
Extremely scary.
Taking the leap.
Exactly. Because I never really thought, like, in my mind, I feel like even to this day, in my mind, actually, Huchenda is just starting, because there's always been this thing of it's like part-time. So even when I left my job, I was like, I can't rely on I felt like I couldn't rely on just the blog.
Yeah.
I needed to start a business or do something else that would bring in money. And so I've always been looking at it as this part-time thing, and yet it's the one thing that I can stay up all night thinking about. It's the one thing that I spend most of my energy on. And so I'm still, the battle is in the mind of like, okay, Faye, like, take this on, like, own it and go with it.
Okay. So you've been able to go to so many places in Uganda. What's your favorite place?
Oh my God, like where do I start?
Hard question, right?
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to give you 4. I love Kisoro.
Kisoro?
Like in general.
Really? Okay.
Like, because for a long time I hadn't gone to Kisoro. I'd been to Kabale a few times, but I'd always stopped in Kabale. And like Kabale is beautiful, the hills and everything. But then you go to Kisoro and it like elevates to a whole other level, like in terms of the landscapes, the scenery and everything. It's so beautiful.
Okay.
And that's where we also have Bwindi, Impenetrable National Park. So I went gorilla tracking. It's an amazing experience. I think more Ugandans should do that. You know, when I went, our guide told us that the gorillas are actually, they're comfortable around guys dressed in green because that's what the rangers wear, and white people.
Eh?
Because they only see white people, like most of the time.
What do you mean?
Yes, like they're more comfortable around white people because very few Ugandans go there. That's what this guy told me.
But isn't it quite expensive though?
It is one of those premium things, like premium activities.
Maybe that's
so you have to
why.
save up for it. But for Ugandan, it's 250 Uganda shillings. For foreigner, it's $600.
So there is a really good rate for Uganda.
There is a rate for Uganda that is much less.
Okay.
Yes, so 250,000 and you can gorilla track. So I really enjoyed that experience, and Kisoro as well. Like I remember just going there and just looking around. Like the scenery is beautiful. I also love Lake Bunyonyi.
Yes,
yeah, Lake Bunyonyi is so good. I'm actually going back next month. I've been to Lake Bunyonyi about 6 times in the last year and a half.
No, it's stunning. I was there recently.
Yeah.
I remember just one morning just standing and just thinking, how is it possible that you have like a painting right there?
Yeah, it's like walking into a picture, right?
Stunning.
So yeah, I actually have like a group trip that I've organized that's going there next month. I also really love Kalangala, Sese Island, if you want to just chill and relax and enjoy the scenery and the beauty. Yeah, so I would say, I'd say Lake Bunyonyi, Kisoro, they're kind of like in the same that area. And then Kalangala
and Jinja. Okay.
Yeah. Those like, and Murchison Falls. Like, don't even remind me like what's going on right now. Like,
it is always a tricky
for people
one.
that don't know.
Yeah, for the people who don't know. But I love that there's been such an outpouring from so many people because it is part of the beauty of our country.
Yeah.
I'm sure it brings in millions of dollars every year in terms of tourists who come in.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's such an
other
amazing...
countries are moving away. I mean, from hydropower. So
Murchison Falls is really stunning. You know, like I think actually Wildlife Authority markets it as the world's most powerful waterfall. Like imagine that.
Yeah.
You know, it's really stunning. It stands out. Yeah, just Murchison Falls National Park in general. If you want to go on a safari and also see the falls, I'll definitely recommend that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our people, please
save Murchison Falls,
and
please.
travel there. So
and go there. Go there now.
We never know what will happen, but no, we're passionate.
Yeah.
Especially, but I love that. I find that with you and more Ugandans, we are truly appreciating our country.
Yeah.
When you grow up in Uganda, you hear Pearl of Africa. You're like, it's one of those things in school you write down in your book, Pearl of Africa. But then when you start to travel and you just get outside, your comfort zone, it's just so amazing and so stunning.
It really is the Pearl of Africa, you know.
It truly
but
is.
You won't know unless you see it. I think the difference between Uganda and a lot of other countries is we are starting now. There are a lot of campaigns that are happening now where more Ugandans are seeing Uganda with like initiatives like the Pearl Guide and like different things like that. But for a long time, like we were just not marketing Uganda. Like I've sat in my car and had radio ads saying visit Dubai, like come to Dubai, like a radio ad in Uganda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Kenya, like they do such a good job of marketing their country.
Yes, or even South Africa, visit South Africa.
Yes. So then, because that's all you hear, you find that Ugandans, even when they do have money to travel, the first thing that comes to their mind is like, let's go to Dubai or let's go to South Africa, and yet there's so much to see.
So where's the gap? What do you think we're doing wrong? What can we do more? Because I know a lot of people are taking this up Personally, I'm also about like, travel Uganda.
I've seen you. I'm always like, yay, like I liking your pictures where I see you in different places.
Because we have to love our country
we
first.
have to, If we don't love it, who's going to love it? Like, it's like if you don't love yourself, how is someone else going to love you? So
exactly.
I think the same way with your country. I think it's two major things: one, infrastructure, and marketing. So I think there's still a lot that's got to be done in terms of our infrastructure. How long it takes you to get to Kisoro, you know? So you find a lot of people come in
are put off by that.
Yeah, so they'll rather go to Rwanda and see the gorillas over there because you can get there easily, you know. So the infrastructure, I think there's a lot that needs to be done with our roads, with our, you know, like just making things easier.